We just finished meeting for intonation practice on Wednesday, April 3rd. The month is flying by. And I'm starting with some requests from you watching on YouTube. So I don't have any context to give, but I think somebody was interested in the combinations where there's stop sounds like D's and T's and continuous sounds like THs. But starting with whisked eggs. Now, whisked by itself would sound like a T, whisked, because the ED sounds like a T when it follows a voiceless sound. So whisk by itself has a K, it's voiceless, so the ED is whisked. However, when I'm connecting it to eggs, my voice starts coming on, so whisked eggs, and I don't need to have a bunch of air for my T. So the less airflow you have, the more the T will sound like a D. And my voice could start coming on early and change that T into a D. So you might think I need to say whisked eggs, but without the airflow and your voice coming on, whisked eggs. Whisk, I'm stopping the airflow, putting my tongue in the T position, which is the same as the D position, and then it sounds like a D. Whisked eggs. Whisked eggs. And the S on eggs sounds like a G because it's following a voiced G. The whisked eggs. And I put the technical term regressive assimilation here in case you want to know. The D and the T I made red because you're going to stop the airflow, but your tongue doesn't have to be in the perfect DT position, which would be right behind your top teeth, because the THs that come after them put your tongue in a further forward position. For the THs, they could be slightly between your two teeth. So your brain, your tongue knows that your tongue is going to be further forward. So to make it easier, instead of toward that, toward that, I'm pushing my tongue almost in the same position as the TH, but blocking the airflow. It could be behind, touching the middle behind your teeth, and then pushing a little forward for the TH. Toward that. And when I stop with my T for that, I can stop the airflow with my tongue between my teeth just by not letting any air go over it. And then relax my tongue toward that thought. Then I relax it and air goes over it. It's exhausting. So don't worry about putting your tongue in the perfect place for a T and a D. It can be in the same place as the TH. And then it comes down to tongue tension. Are you going to keep it tense so that no air gets through toward, and then relax it, that, and stop it again, making it tense, that thought. So this is good practice for tongue tension, making it stop the airflow and releasing it. I also learned that I pronounce this as toward with a rounded lips the first at the very beginning, toward, but it doesn't have to be. There's multiple ways to pronounce this word, and if you don't round your lips, it will sound like toward, and it could also be toward, but I don't hear that very often. So there's like 6 different ways to pronounce this word. Pick one that you like. I like toward. Toward that thought. Toward that thought. Toward that thought. That was a lot. Ask students. Students or students. I made this a syllabic N because I don't say students, I say students. Asks, you do have to say the S, the K, the S, because if you leave out the S before here, between this A and the K, it will sound like AX, like AKS, AX. So it takes time. You have to slow down. Asks. I'm making an S appear, and then up for the K, and then immediately to the S. Asks, asks, and then keep the airflow going for stew, and then put your tongue up for the D in position. Stewed, just make a noise. That's the syllabic in. Ask students. Asks students. Towards things. Towards things. The S and the TH both have constant airflow. That's why they're in green. So keep the air moving towards things, but you're going to lose your voicing after the Z in towards. Towards, so I put a little S here because it will start sounding like an S. Towards things. THs and S's and Z's. Towards things. The earth circles the sun. It's a the because the next word begins with a vowel, and then that means there's an invisible Y because your tongue's going from the very high the to the lower earth. The earth, and it will sound like a Y. The earth circles. Keep your airflow going because it looks like a C, but it sounds like an S. Circles this continuous airflow, and both are voiced. Circles the sun. The earth circles the sun. And now they get easier. Compulsory. This can be pronounced with 4 syllables. Compulsory, or you can leave out the and say compulsory. Americans will usually put the 4 syllables. Compulsory military service. Compulsory military service. A growing number of young people. A growing number of young people. So in this situation, I don't have to have the perfect ing with the back of my tongue going up for ing, like sing. When there's a N or a T or a D or another sound made in the front, I can change this to een, growing, and now my tongue's in the front and ready for the N that comes next. Growing number. And of, when the of is before a consonant, you don't have to make a V. You can just drop it and say So a growing number of young people. When I say it in normal speed, you don't notice it. A growing number of young people. That's it. A single word, futuristic. And this FYU sounds just like a few of them. But I spell it FYU to represent your tongue starting in a high position. Futuristic. And this is a word from French that Americans have changed the pronunciation to sound like ambience. I can say it very but I won't. Ambience. The French-like pronunciation, it's not exactly French, but when Americans want to make it sound more French, ambiance. Ambiance. Breathtaking view. Breathtaking view. Winter can sound like winter or no T, winter. And I don't usually pronounce the T. Winter and daylight savings time. Oh, no S. Winter and daylight saving time. Winter and daylight saving time. Marathon Monday. Marathon Monday. St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. Indigenous Peoples Day. Indigenous Peoples Day. Juneteenth. The stress is on the teenth. Juneteenth. Venture capitalist. Venture capitalist. Entrepreneurship, or the newer entrepreneurship. Either way. Unparalleled. Unparalleled. You won't hear the D if it's at the end of the sentence. The example in the dictionary was her expertise and the subject was unparalleled. You won't hear the D. She had unparalleled expertise. Now you'll hear it connect. Okay. The whisked eggs. Toward that thought. Asks students. I think I said dents. Asks students. Towards things. The earth circles the sun. Compulsory military service. a growing number of young people. Futuristic. Ambience or ambiance. Breathtaking view. Winter and daylight saving time. Marathon Monday. St. Patrick's Day. Indigenous Peoples Day. Juneteenth. Venture capitalist. Entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship. Unparalleled. Good. Thank you. It was good to see everyone, and I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week. Thanks.